Hello and welcome to DM&D here on the Temple Tankard YouTube channel and Discord servers. Hey, we are back with Class Act here with Nans as always, as we are continuing our class dive series there with the rogues today. Our masters of stealth and sneakiness. Um, so first off, uh, so I will say rogues are probably my most played class.
Mhm.
Um, either through multi-class or like I played a number of different rogues over the years. In fact, one of my first characters ever I played, I mentioned him before, was a fighter thief back in the old, so basically old classic rogue. Um, so yes, very much a fan of rogues here. How about you?
I like rogues. I think
Yeah,
they play really, really well in the campaign setting. And
yeah,
something else that I like about them is they tend to be the people who do the thing that most people don't want to do behind the scenes. And what I don't like is when people are like, "Hey, I want to play a rogue and go sneak off and do the thing," but don't tell the party what they're doing.
yes,
Like
yes,
you have to tell your party what you're doing. You can't just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do a thing and be secretive about it," because now your party's not gonna trust you. But
yeah,
hey, I'm gonna go sneak into that museum and grab that painting I wanted earlier. Okay, well that's
yep.
probably a bad idea, but you do you.
And I will say, um, uh rogues, yeah, we'll get into some of the do's and don'ts or the pluses and minuses of rogues here in a little bit here, but
Mhm.
that is definitely something we'll touch on for sure. um Basically, yeah, I mean the rogues are your uh, so often rogues are going to be your problem solvers, your obviously your trap finders, your trap
Mhm.
disarmers,
Mhm.
your stealthy specialists that are scouting ahead, finding things out. um so basically, yeah, stealth, stealing skills, and sneak attack because rogues also have the wonderful expertise. So they are really good at the skills they have. Rogues have always been the primary skill monkeys of
Mhm.
any DN or any fantasy RPG. Um, with all sorts of skills to have there. I will say it puts them in the same sort of vein as the bard, but the bards tend to be more social skills as opposed to the more stealthy, sneaky skills. Although there's lots of fun ways, the variations of rogues and everything else too that we'll
Mhm.
talk about. Rogues have great survivability. They have really great tools like evasion and just their roll with a blow and things like that, and yeah, they have very high dexterity. They avoid area effect attacks really well, um, and they tend to be just you with their cunning action, being able to run away as a bonus action and hide and get out of view of things, which is really helpful for staying alive. If they can't see you, they can't hit you. Um, they're also probably one of the more reliable sources of steady damage. Rogues can just dish out a very solid amount of damage. They're not always going to be the highest because you don't have burst damage like a paladin would, or the massive spells that a wizard has, or the sheer number of attacks that a fighter can dish out when they got some other bonuses there. But the rogue's going to have be able to deliver that one really powerful hit with a sneak attack.
And honestly, do we
And
need our rogues doing massive amounts of damage? We really like our rogues to just, you know, start picking them off here by here. And, they're the ones that get the kill shot, basically, is what I'm trying to get to.
sure,
Because
sure.
keep the pressure on, guys. Keep going, rogues. We love you.
Yeah. Well, that rogue, yeah, they capitalize on opportunities. They're the ones that kind of like, oh, that guy's been hit a couple times. I will sneak up on him and and finish him off. Yeah. So again, there's really they serve a really vital function in combat with a steady outburst of damage, great survivability, and just in terms of general. In general terms, they were rogue. There, they tend to make excellent scouts and spies. They can get into a place, find out what's going on, spot the hidden things, um, gather the info, listen to the conversations that are happening. Rogues have a lot of utility in that aspect as well. Um, that means also that rogues are probably, and I find this there, I find rogues are often really good for multi-classing.
Oh, yeah.
Taking a few levels of rogue benefits almost any class. Um,
100%.
yeah, I mean it's one of those things like it never hurts someone to dip a few levels into rogue for those skills. The I mean, yeah, being able to do a sneak attack, being able to get cunning action. I think fighters and rogues are probably the ones that get get multi-class the most, just because they have such good things they can get really early on in their abilities. There's great things higher later on, but in terms of just being able to dip into rogue, get some awesome stuff, and then move on with another class. Really fun there. Um, if you want a combat heavier rogue, obviously multi-classing with a warrior class like a fighter, a ranger, or a monk, um, or the barbarian rogue, which I'm always a fan of. When you
Mm.
I can reckless attack and then sneak attack every turn as a rogue. So yeah, kind of fun to pull that off there. Um, so there's some fun things there, but obviously arcane trickster, spellcasting rogues. There's
Hold
just
on.
so many fun ways to go with rogue.
Jim, can you
Yeah.
imagine? I'm
Yes.
going to pick the lock on the door. It doesn't work. I'm going
Yep.
to just kick the door down.
Sure. Yeah.
Barbarian rogue. I love it.
I will say it's a little difficult because you have issues with a high strength a high strength low dex rogue is kind of weird, um, or a moderate dex. Um, it's hard to really balance that because you're talking about a high strength and a high dex, and hopefully a decent wisdom because you got to spot things, or a decent intelligence for investigation to search for things.
Hmm.
Um, you run into some problems there with you're going to lose the capabilities, but you get some really fun combinations. Yeah, the barbarian rogue is a very fun. Uh, I've seen well, the first one that I saw famously there was Taliesin from Critical Role playing Owlbear, he was basically playing Batman, barbarian rogue there with daggers and doing a sneak attack every turn. Um, the idea of like being a vigilante type character. Very fun. Um, but yeah, I think Rogue lends itself really well to a lot of multi-class opportunities. And yeah, so a barbarian rogue with fireball. Yeah, so you're going to dip into 4 or 5 classes then. Because
Ooh.
now you need 5 levels of wizard or sorcerer, and then barbarian, and then rogue, and then whatever else you're going to throw on there too. So, like, like Like really, that's that's just rude and swapping out rogue for fighter. I mean, come on.
You never know. He could be building up to multi-class into 3 different classes just so that he can have uh 3 kobolds in a trench coat again.
That yes, of course.
He's got his own little army.
Yeah. Um So, like story wise, with a rogue there, what kind of roles they fill? Well, some of the kind of the roles they fill there, but some things that really lend themselves well to rogues are any adventures where heists are involved. When
Mhm.
when you're trying to steal something, a rogue's going to be invaluable to that operation. In fact, I would say you shouldn't try one without a rogue. In that case, I mean, there's some things you could do, but a rogue's going to make that a lot easier. Um, Rogues with thieves guilds, when you start bringing in rogue organizations, that makes for a lot of fun, like guild war stories and things like that. Setting apart the thieves guild to other guilds, or trying to appease the thieves guild so the rogue can get the things that they need. There's a lot of fun stories you can do with thieves guilds. And in fact, I did a criminal organization episode a long time ago where we talked about like setting up a thieves guild, different kinds of thieves guilds they were.
Mhm.
So if you want to delve more into that, there it was an old DM&D episode with criminal organizations talking especially about thieves guilds. Um, but rogues are also when you need someone to find out information. Like the rogue's often gonna be the one to do that, but there's some fun story opportunities where the rogue can either get into or help somebody get out of trouble. They're really fun to be able to work into that kind of a role in a story or encounter where the rogue is sort of like helping or hindering with trouble. It's a lot of fun there. Um, but this does rogues have the unfortunate reputation of being probably the most common problem child in your party. Um, I'm just gonna put this out here is that so often the problem players who are doing a rogue, you're gonna hear the words, "It's what my
Mhm.
character would do."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
because I'm a criminal, I'm a shady jerk. I'm gonna steal from the party. I'm gonna do something stupid that's gonna get the party into trouble here because it's what my character would do. Well, I would say that can be a problem. And I mean, like I'm not saying that it playing your character is. I mean, and this is a little bit of a digression here. I realize this. Um, I think that with the rogue, you have that opportunity, you have those skills, but at the same time, what are you gonna? How is it gonna help the group of people you're playing with have fun? If you're making their life miserable, if you're stealing from them being a jerk, if you're doing things that are going to cause problems with the players that they didn't sign up for, you kind of throw um, the whole table out of whack.
Mhm.
And in some groups, that can be a fun time. In some, they're not. So I would say, as a rogue player, be aware of how your party's going to treat you, how you're going to treat your party, and how your DM's going to help you out with that there. So, um, it is kind of a thing that you have to watch out for because obviously playing the noble type rogue or the helpful rogue is may not be believable sometimes, but at the same time, what's going to let you and the party and the DM for that matter all have fun together? 'Cause that is what this is all about. So, um, yeah, rogues have just such a fun ability to just do things, get in and out of places without being seen, grabbing that item that nobody knows you grabbed, and then saying, "Haha, here we go." Um, that reveal moment later on. There's some fun opportunities there, but then yeah, when you get the whole party in trouble because you stole something you shouldn't have, or you get caught and thrown in jail, now the party has to debate whether they even want to break you out of jail or not.
Mhm. Don't be that rogue. Don't be that rogue.
Yes, don't be that rogue. Yeah, yeah. Like if your party doesn't like immediately want to come get you, you've been that rogue.
You're that rogue. Yep. Mhm.
Yes.
I don't
Like,
necessarily mean roll a new character, but roll a new persona. Like,
yeah,
don't be
yeah.
that rogue.
Turn over a new leaf. Something. Yeah. It's it plays into some of those negative rogue stereotypes. But there's so many different variations of rogues. They have so many, and it fills so many interesting roles. The arcane trickster with being that spell casting rogue, the assassin being the sneaky I'm gonna kill things rogue. Um, Soul Knight bringing in psionics. The thief, the actual true master of stealing stuff and getting up in there. Um, and then some other ones that are sort of from previous editions there. One of my favorites was the Inquisitive Rogue, who's just a full-on detective. I mean, my whole thing was I always thought of Batman to be a fighter rogue, basically battle master inquisitive.
I can see that.
Uh, Absolutely. So, because yeah, the whole thing with being able to be intelligent, finding out things, figuring out where things are, um, how to track down the villains and everything else, it makes for a very fun type of character. Um, the big thing with rogues that I find is they have a lot of good ways to set up teamwork.
Hmm.
Rogues often want to attack someone that someone else is attacking, do things to either provide or gain advantage from your teammates. There's so many, like obviously the sneak attack mechanic is essentially either have advantage on your target or have an enemy within 5 feet of your target that can distract them for you. So there's so many fun ways to get advantage, either between having your magic person or your druid casting fairy fire on things, um, being a rogue that has a familiar that does the help action to give you advantage, then you can sneak attack. The aforementioned barbarian rogue who can reckless attack, sneak attack. Um, uh, the fun one of course, the vengeance paladin that can mark of enmity and say, "You, I have advantage against you." So every attack is now a sneak attack.
Every
Um,
attack.
yep. Well,
Well,
every
every
one
first
sneak
hit.
attack per 10. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea that yes, there's fun. There's ways you can set it up for yourself, but there's also fun ways to set it up with your teammates. And having that sort of like teamwork aspect of like how's the rogue going to get advantage this time, or how's the rogue going to get the sneak attack this time,
Hmm.
um, beyond just the I hide, I step out, I shoot, and I hide again. Um,
I mean, you can do that. It just doesn't
that
seem
is an
like a lot
option
of
too.
fun.
Well, although it is fun to kind of if you're playing with the terrain, I'm like, because my whole thing is like, and I'm not sure the rules specifically state this, but I've always been a thing that's like you can't just pop up, shoot, and then just sit and hide in the exact same place again. They
Because
know
then they
the
know
arrow
where you
came from
are.
that there.
Hmm.
Yeah, like oh, someone's over there shooting at me. They may not see you exactly, but they know what's coming and they're ready for it.
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
idea of like I'm going to shoot from hiding, then run over here and bonus action hide again over here. Um, as Trexer used to do to you.
Listen, we're not going to talk about that lovely man who couldn't hit
Ah,
Sora to
yes.
save his life, which was great. I loved it.
Yes, yes, because I saw with the 26 armor class, whatever it was at some point. So, yeah,
Mizium armor, folks. Look into it.
yes.
You
But
cannot
yeah,
crit them.
no crits. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
evil,
great
evil
times.
stuff. But yes, I will say, yeah, Roy, you got there. Rolling all those extra D6s is so much fun too. When you're
Hmm.
playing a high level rogue and you're getting 5d6 plus a D4 or D6 plus 5d6 plus elemental damage plus this damage, like
Yep.
um, we're gonna see just kind of we're gonna play around with it little build just to see how many dice you can possibly roll in just a little bit here. Um, uh, how often do you use rogues as villains?
All the time.
All the
I
time.
I
Exactly. Yeah.
start out with a rogue as the villain because it's the easiest cliche. It's the easiest thing for me to go, hey, look, that's the bad guy, and there's a clear set point that is definitely the bad guy because
Yeah.
it's a rogue. I
Yeah.
often, if I'm building out a rogue to be my BBEG of the arc, they are
Hmm.
going to have Savage Attacker added onto that. And
Hmm.
Savage Attacker just lets you re-roll the dice and then choose which one you like.
Yep.
So the bigger number is the number that you get to roll
My
with.
my favorite is kobold rogues because they have pack tactics, which
Mm,
means if you have more than one of you, you have a buddy with you, you both have advantage. So you're
mm,
both sneak attacking every single turn,
mm, mm, mm,
which is just awesome. It's a great way. It is a great way to kind of give a little more of a threat because
mhm,
a lot of times you're like I'm a goblin with a scimitar that does 1d6 plus 1 damage. Woo!
mm,
Um, by the time a party is like 3 or 4 levels in, that's because it's not a threat anymore. But give that goblin a level, couple like a couple levels of rogue, and
Mhm.
suddenly they have more options. They can a little more survivable, and they got a little extra damage they can throw at you, which makes for a fun, a little more challenging encounter when you have a bunch of rogues, or at least a couple of rogues, or
Yep.
you have a sniper rogue with a long with a rifle that can shoot you from
Trexler.
like
Uh-huh.
yeah, good old Trexer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, uh, yeah, and when you have a plus 16 to hide and
Yeah. I will honestly tell you, Jim, he was one of my favorite bad guys of that campaign because
yeah, he was
Sora could never see him. She
yep,
never knew where he was, just knew that she knew where the bullet or the arrow came from.
it was a
And
bullet. He was firing a rifle. Yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah. She knew where the trajectory came from, but by the
yeah,
time she would get over there was nothing there.
yeah. He
So
wasn't there anymore.
so
Yeah,
he
his
wasn't
whole
there.
thing was literally, and he was the first. He was the first villain because he had the message cantrip.
Mhm.
And so he would taunt his enemies with the message cantrip,
Mhm.
just like whispering in their ear, picking on them or being a jerk to them. And then just while he's running and hiding, it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and
Mhm.
run over this way and then hide over here. And then, because, yeah.
And it
So,
worked
yeah,
fantastically. It worked. It
yeah.
was
Drexler
great.
was a fun one. Yeah. But yeah, so often there, like a rogue could make a great villain, a great henchman,
Mhm.
a great yeah. Like if you have just a set of henchmen that are all rogues, they can be actually challenging. They can be a bit of a threat. Um, so I definitely and that whole thing of like yeah, that shot from the darkness that comes out and nails someone for like oh that was 22 damage. Holy crap!
Mhm.
Um, in one hit, where was I didn't see it coming. Um, that's definitely adds for a little bit of danger, a little bit of threat. Um,
I used to
so yeah.
do a rogue as like the boss area of where they were at.
Hmm.
Um and then I would have 6 or 7 depending on the party size goblins that also had poison on their weapons.
Hmm.
Just to
Yeah,
make it a smidge harder. Are you sure you
yeah,
want to leave town? Because if you leave town, you're going to get more stuff like this. There's
yeah.
still stuff you can do in
So
town. So
yeah.
like,
So you have a goblin with a short bow and poisoned arrows and 3 levels of rogue. Suddenly they're doing D6 plus poison damage plus 2D6 sneak attack. That's nothing to and when you got 10 of those guys shooting at you,
mhm,
and they're
mhm,
shooting at you with advantage because they're hidden,
mhm.
I mean,
Are you sure you want to leave town?
that's gonna be scary. Yeah. So um definitely add some good threat level encounters there. And an interesting thing because yeah, it's like spotting them, finding them, running them down, catching
Mhm,
them. Can be a very interesting encounter too. Is how do you eliminate their advantage? How do you track them down and stop them from filling you full of more poisoned arrows? Um, yeah, so definitely some fun, more dangerous encounters by
mhm.
sprinkling a few rogues into the party, the bad guys.
You
Um,
just need sprinkles though.
so yeah, I mean, having a primary rogue who's just like, okay, boom, that can like really shake things up, but then that becomes a threat you need to deal with immediately because they're going to take somebody out.
Mhm, mhm,
So, but let's look at some pop culture rogues. This is some fun ones here because it will get into some different archetypes of rogues, different concepts of rogues beyond just the I hide from the shadows and stab or shoot people. Um, so I'm going to put some movies and or characters out there. So you think of one here, but one I'm going to throw right out there because I hinted at it earlier. Ocean's 11, a
mhm.
whole party of rogues with different specialties.
Yep.
Um, from the charismatic type rogues here, kind of leading the whole thing, doing the planning, the inquisitive rogues, to the acrobatic rogues having to fit in through pipes and dive into things. To I've got to have tinker toys to mess with and get things in there. I'm like, at least someone in Ocean's 11 is going to be an artificer rogue, which
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm, for those
Mhm.
wonderful toys. So yeah, so Ocean's 11 has some very fun ones there. And then in honor of the shirt I got here, the obvious choice from pop culture is Han Solo is a charismatic rogue. I mean,
Bard
he,
rogue. Mm,
I don't know if I'd even go bard on him. I don't. He doesn't have a lot of bard skills. He's not inspiring to people. He just like
hmm,
it's interesting. But yeah, pawn shot first, bam, sneak attack on the guy from shooting him under the table.
mhm, mhm.
Um, he's a sneaky guy. He's got some skills. Uh, yeah, he's definitely, in my opinion, a good example of a rogue. And then one that we kind of touched on last week with our Rangers is a good old Robin Hood, Ranger
Mhm.
Rogue. I don't think Robin Hood's a pure Ranger because he's stealing and sneaking and everything else too. So I kind of see Robin Hood being a good multi-class Ranger Rogue. Um, you can go either way, or you could do a full Rogue. I don't know. There's definitely different ways you could build him, but yeah, definitely I think Robin Hood fits in that category. Any ones that jump out at you before I jump into some more?
Darkwing Duck.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I've been
I
thinking
like
about
it.
him
I like it.
all
Uh-huh.
week because while
When there's
he
people you
is,
call DW, yep.
yeah, yeah, like so he is literally in, he's kind of got like the Batman persona thing going on,
Mm,
but
yeah. He's got his
obviously
gadgets. Yep.
he's got his gadgets, but he's obviously not as adept at being Batman as Batman is, right?
No, yeah.
So
So yeah, he doesn't have the fighter levels that Batman does.
no, no, he doesn't. So, but like Darkwing always strikes from the it's in this theme song. He strikes from the
Yeah,
dark.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Um uh,
Absolutely. I totally see it.
uh also we talked about this with Ranger with Green Arrow. He's a
Mhm.
little bit
Sure,
of the
sure.
roguey side. I also want to
Mhm.
put in like the Black Panther.
Okay, okay. I can see it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wishes he was cool as Darkwing. Nice. I love Darkwing Duck. Drake Mallard. Oh my gosh, yes, Darkwing Duck's my favorite. Um, yeah, cool, cool.
I was even
Yeah, I could
thinking like
definitely
a little bit more on like the Dick Tracy side, but
sure.
he was more the Inquisitor type rogue than he
Yeah.
was, our
Mhm.
typical stereotype rogue that we like to play.
Yeah, yeah, totally see that. A fun one to throw out there, Indiana Jones. I mean, we good old Harrison Ford. I mean, he's sneaking through he's disarming traps. He's
Mm,
um trying to at least and failing and having to dodge traps and everything like
right,
that.
yeah.
But he's definitely has a. I mean, and the guy uses a whip to swing across things. He has that again sneak attack on the dude with the sword. Just that little
Hmm.
snapshot sneak attack. Um, totally see that. And then in the exact same vein, if you want to go the female version of that, there you move into Lara Croft.
I love Lara Croft. She's totally a rogue.
Absolutely,
Hated her video
absolutely.
games, but I loved her movies.
Yeah, yeah. Um, with that, you have two very similar characters from Marvel and DC. You got Catwoman and Black Cat.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
are they're obviously thieves. That's the whole thing, is they're both thieves. So yes, but they are definitely that rogue type thing. They're actually the actual thief subclass for both of them. Um
I like to
uh
put one out
uh
there for the
mhm,
whole movie is a bunch of rogues running around, and it's not Ocean's 11. Do
sure.
you remember Swordfish with John Travolta?
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, 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 yes.
All
Yeah,
of them
I
were
mean
cyberware
the
rogues.
show what's the show? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Wow.
No, that's a
The
video game.
Yeah, I know. It'll be in just a minute here. But yeah, I was thinking there was a TV show that's very much Ocean's 11 mission of the week kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it'll hit me here in a minute here. Um, but somebody pointed out Jack Sparrow. He is your pirate swashbuckler rogue. That man,
Yeah, yeah,
because I
1000%.
swashbuckler is one of my favorite subclasses of rogue. I've been really, and so having that person who can just he's got that sword, he's got that sort of like drunken master. I kind of wanted to do a build at some point of a drunken master monk rogue as Drax Sparrow.
You hate your DM, don't you?
It'd be fun. I mean, it's the thing. It's maybe not a min max build. Absolutely not a min
Mm-mm.
max build because
Mm-mm.
it'd just be fun to play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
I guess it depends on
but
which way a monk you go.
yeah,
I imagine
yeah,
you'd be the monk that would throw items back at them, which would be really fun.
yeah. Well, the thing is, remember the idea of a drunken master too is they're very defensive. It's hard to hit them. It's hard to damage them.
Right.
They're unexpected. They do things like that. It's but yeah, I mean, the idea of like, yeah, how many times does he grab something and smash someone across the face? And I mean, it's that sort of improvised weapon kind of thing. Yes, he was very good with a rapier, or cutlass or whatever sword he happened to have in his hand, but
Right?
he also was very good at kicking people off of his ship and smacking people with a being a bone and hit them across the face or whatever. Um, yeah, he was a very unpredictable type fighter, which is Drunken Master Monk is a master of that.
Hmm.
So, and a swashbuckler rogue, he could take on people by himself. That's kind of the kind of thing there. And some other ones that are out there. Obviously, the Assassin's Creed franchise, Ezio is a rogue at least at some point. There, he's uh, probably mixing some fighter class in there as well. But I mean, he's definitely a rogue in some way. And a good one. I was looking through some of the list of like some other suggestions out there, and one that jumped out at me that would be kind of fun is Arya Stark, Game of Thrones. She definitely has
Arya
some.
was the hero of that story. She's definitely the
I
rogue.
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, absolutely a rogue there. If you're in the comments there, throw out some other ideas for rogues that you can think of from various TV shows and or movies or comics or anything else like that. I mean, we mentioned a lot of different DC and Marvel type characters, and some other movie and even cartoon characters, but I'm sure there's a ton more out there we can think of. Um, so it's the and you have so many different personality types for a rogue. Obviously, you have the lovable goofball rogue, the heart of gold kind of rogue.
Hmm.
You got the dark, like vigilante type rogue, the person who just wants to steal everything they can get their hands on kind of rogue. Um, your swashbuckling combat rogue who loves to mix it up.
Hmm.
There's just so many different types of rogues out there. The ones that you'd never even know they were rogue if they didn't um, make it obvious at some point.
I had a rogue
So,
that was deemed to be the king and ruler of the land, and the person went, "Nope, mm-mm, not happening." I know what that character did. He would
mhm.
never, ever, ever, ever want to be in charge of anything, knowing
Yep,
his
yep,
background. So, like,
sure,
you got to be careful with your rogues too, of like keeping them separate from what you, the person, would do.
yeah,
You got to
yeah, absolutely,
go and be nice with your characters. You got to play nice with them. Although,
yeah,
play nice with your other people too, please.
yeah. Well, the idea is that are often going to be either the cause of or the focus of trouble. It is they're the ones who are going to bring the authorities down on you, or get caught by something, or just because of their backstory, being a criminal or being with this. I mean, you have some great typical backgrounds for a rogue there. You're criminal, you're urchin, you're charlatan. Um, but there's other ones too. I mean, the idea of a rogue who, I mean, Indiana Jones is a sage in his background. He was a student, and yes, he wanted to go find artifacts, but he wasn't doing it to be rich and famous. He wanted to go solve that mystery, delve that dungeon. Um, Definitely different ways to go and different motivations for your rogue beyond just like I want to be rich.
Yep,
I want to yeah. Um, but yeah, a lot of times it's like it's hard to pin a rogue down. It's like you don't make. I mean, rogues oftentimes don't want to be the person in charge. They don't want to be the king. They don't want to. Some cases, um, but yeah, they want to, by their very nature, want to kind of blend more into the shadows or be sort of that person that people don't notice until they want to be noticed, kind of thing. So
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So tell
Um,
me about that rogue you were talking about.
Okay, so the idea is imagine how many attacks, how many dice you can roll. And there's been various min-max builds, and I'm going to toying around with you here, but imagine something along the lines of, oh, let's say 3 levels of fighter, battle master. You got superiority dice to add.
Hmm.
Maybe a few levels of ranger. Get that hunter's mark on there. Then because you're going to throw a rogue in here eventually, grab 3 levels of paladin so you can be a vengeance paladin. Get at least one of those classes up to 5th level so you get a second attack, and then start stacking on the rogue levels so that one of those attacks can be a sneak attack. Now you've got superiority dice, d8s typically, maybe higher depending on how high it'll be d8s.
Mhm.
Yes, rogue with ranger here. So you have rogue. So you got superiority dice. You've got um, hunter's mark dice. You've got paladin smite dice and rogue sneak attack dice. You've got just piles of dice. Now, there's other things you can do, but you start running out of classes and levels at some point here. I was messing on the idea of doing a monk to then use a bonus action to add more attacks. Um, Ranger, it's hard to beat the Gloomstalker Ranger to throw that in there because then you get the extra attack on your first round, um, which Gloomstalkers have not been remade in 2024 as of yet, um, or anything quite like them. But the idea of stacking on just piles and piles of dice, because obviously, I mean, e- even just 3 levels in each class, you end up with superiority dice. You end up with a one superiority die, minimum 2 palette smite dice, the hunter's mark dice, the weapon dice, plus at 3rd level rogue, 2d6 more for sneak attack. So you end up stacking up a lot. Now, I will say, the more rogue you can go into, the higher that sneak attack gets. But the idea of a 20th level character in a round being able to, in one round of combat, dish out two, three, two or three attacks, and the fact that you're a fighter, you can then action surge and get more attacks that all have the extra hunter's mark dice there. You can stack on, like, you can blow all your dice pools in one turn, but the amount of damage you dish out is unreal. Um,
So I was just looking at it. Paladin had to be level 5 to get level 2 spells. So that would be
sure,
3d8 smite damage.
sure, and then you have 2 attacks. So
And you
yep,
have two
yep.
attacks. And
Hmm.
then and then you got sneak attack, which we're saying what, 3 levels of
3 levels of rogue, then yeah, you get the 2d60
2d6.
attack.
So you've got right there that's 7d6. That doesn't include the weapon
No,
damage.
3d8s and 3d6
3d6.
and
That's right.
2d6 plus one more d6 from hunter's mark as your ranger.
Right? And then whatever your base weapon damage is.
Plus, if you want to throw a superiority dice on there from a Battlemaster fighter,
Hmm.
now you're talking about adding another D8 on top of that.
And then that
With
increases to a d10 later if you're doing that.
if
So
you yeah
there's
yeah
that's a lot of dice.
yes it is,
Now imagine
and
all of that with reckless attack.
you want to throw in a couple levels of barbarian as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm not no, it's savage attacker. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh sure, yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
So redo all of that, get reckless attack in there, and you got savage attack. That is
Yeah,
you go to the BBEG and go, "Yep, I'm done, thanks."
yeah.
Who needs
Let's
potions?
let's let's end this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. So the idea of being able to do that crazy amount there, and then you go things like fun things. Well, I'm gonna do this with a bow and add and have like, oh, I'll be sharpshooter. So I get to, since I have advantage, I'm probably going to hit with all these attacks.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and just do add +10 to all these rolls, plus my dex, um, plus whatever other bonuses I have on top of that. It turns into a really, really ugly thing there. Now, how do you justify all that? Well, if you're a person who's an assassin and your whole point is to be, I'm going to take things out,
Mhm.
this is a great way to do it. I'm going to step into a room and take out all the guards at one time. Like,
Yeah.
like there you go. I mean, and the fun part is if you wanted to swap out, I mean, you could swap out the fighter levels for monk levels and be able to flurry of blows and go Kensai monk, and you can do that with a long, you can do it with a bow and have
That's
proficiency in longbow and do it with a longbow, so you sneak attack with a longbow.
that's insanity.
Yeah. So I would say it's like, and again, even scaling that back a little bit to just 2 classes, just having like the paladin rogue, vengeance paladin rogue, having that battle master rogue fighter. Um, uh, the idea that was kind of the basis for the John Wick character. was like I'm going to run around with two-hand crossbows and have be a battle master fighter, and I can do the fun thing of like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and shoot you and disarm you. I'm going to shoot you, and like when you have more than one attack and something you can add superiority to each one of them, and just do fun things like disarming or tripping or whatever else that it gets some fun combinations you can do with the rogues there. Sorcerer rogue with booming blade, absolutely. So sneak attack with a booming blade, that's just fun. Um, yeah, so you sneak up on someone, you got that short sword in your hand there, you jump out there, booming blade, and then the fun part is you bonus attack, bonus action, disengage and back off from them,
Mhm.
and then come get me. They take a step toward you and they go boom for more damage. Um,
Mhm.
I love, yeah, yeah. So, like, yeah, throwing in sorcerer on top of that. Well, you can kind of get away with that if you wanted to do like just take magic adept sorcerer and just take booming blade as one of your cantrips. Now you don't need sorcerer levels. You could just go all rogue with a couple of things
Don't
there.
don't give my player ideas, Jim. He's just talked to me about changing his stuff, and that was one of them. Why are you giving
Yeah,
him ideas? Don't do that.
I mean, some fun magical ability is go Arcane Trickster. Arcane Trickster. I don't know if they can take Booming Blade as a cantrip for Arcane Trickster there, but if you do the Magic Initiate on top of that, then you can, yeah, then you can add that Booming Blade in there and just have some fun with it. Um, my Swashbuckler Rogue took levels in Eldritch Knight Fighter, so I could do the dual wielding, and so I was just this flurry of just like being able to um, booming blade sneak attack was something I did there. And the fun with the swashbuckler is I don't need advantage. As long as it's just you and me together, I can just attack you with I can just sneak attack you to your face as a swashbuckler.
So
So
mean.
my that character eventually then got Mage Slayer because I would actually just run up to any kind of spellcaster because hey, look, that guy's back there by himself casting spells. I'm gonna get in his face, sneak attack him. Oh, he's still good? Like he wants to run away from me. He disengages and runs away. Oh, that was a booming blade sneak attack. So make more thunder damage. Yep. So yeah, some very fun combinations there. Rogues have so much flavor to them. I would say there's so many different cool variations of the rogue there. There's so many different things you could do with a rogue. That just add the idea of a, like the think of a cleric rogue who's basically he wants to delve into crypts and tombs and everything else that and turn undead while he's in the middle of finding the traps and disarming them and recovering those holy artifacts. It's sort of like a um, fun there. Druid rogues. I just want to point it out here. Your sneak attack can be done while you're in wild shape. Just putting that out there. Yeah.
Yeah, because you use your claws. Uh-huh.
hmm
Or
or you
whatever it
bite
is you're
someone.
attacking.
Good night, Dow. You have a good one there. Good to see you there. But yeah, so yeah, sneak attack is one of those things it can be done with so many different types of attacks. Now, obviously, if it doesn't require attack roll, like any kind of spell that requires a saving throw, you can't sneak attack on that. Um, certain things don't allow you to potentially sneak attack there. But a fun thing you want to go for really cool flavorful rogue, having some levels of sorcerer and taking shadow blade. A shadow blade rogue is really fun because now you're doing psychic attack damage with sneak attack damage. Um, that's what Shade was, by the way.
I know. I'm aware. To answer your
Yes.
question earlier, Jim, they take
Yeah.
a cantrip, two cantrips from the wizard spell list, and Booming Blade
Oh,
is
so
not on that.
is it?
So,
Is it? Should be.
nope. I could go down the list, but that would just be a waste of time.
Yeah.
So the cantrip side, they've got Blade Ward, but not Booming Blade.
Oh, interesting. That's different. Oh,
2024
well, anyway.
rules. I don't know about the
Yeah.
2014 rules.
I'm. Is Blue Blade in 2024? Uh, Wizard Legacy, yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's the Wizard spell list.
Oh,
It's
it's
not.
not
Yeah.
not for the 2024 peoples.
No, I'm looking at it right there. Wizard Legacy and Wizard. It's on both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Um, yeah. It wouldn't. I would allow it. I mean, what the heck? I mean,
Yes, and right,
um,
Jim?
yeah. I mean, if that's the style you want to go for, you want to be that crazy. I'm gonna jump out and boom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then run away laughing. Then yeah, while the guy's deafened. That's a lot of fun. I like that. Um, yeah. Again, rogues have so many different variations with so many different flavor. If you mix and match with classes, or just mix and match the style of a rogue.
Right.
Having that, I mean, I want to be the sneaky shoot things rogue. I want to be the get in your face, stab you in the kidneys rogue. Um, I want to basically be partnered up with my big fighter type there, the Fatford and Gray Mouser kind of thing of like, yes, I'm gonna this guy's gonna keep your attention while I run around behind you and stab you in the back. Um, and don't ignore him, but don't ignore me either.
Right. I'm still
um,
here.
Yep, I'm still going to take you out. Now, you don't have the flanking rules you used to have, but unless it's you want to use an optional rule around that. But the fact is, you don't need it. If you're both attacking the same person, you sneak attack them every round because you have an ally within 5 feet of them. So, like, you're right there already.
Exactly.
It's with the yeah. So yeah, again, so many fun things you can do, so many different ways to use rogues, both in a story and when you're playing your rogues, the different ways to flavor them to kind of customize how you want to play your rogue. Um, and again, as a DM, as your player, talk about the things your rogue will and won't do. Um, I just put it out there as if I'm the DM and I got a rogue in my party, I'm just going to flat out tell them, don't steal from the party. I
All
will, as
right.
a DM, don't do that. Now, I will say, like if you want to like pocket something that you find and not tell the party about it, that's one thing. But you're going to be having to make sleight of hand checks there, and someone's going to spot you doing it at some point. Going to cause things here. But if you're actually going in and stealing things off of a party member, that's going to cause problems. And I would
Yeah.
say as a DM, I'm going to discourage that just because I don't want that to cause that animosity at the table. I don't want characters to suddenly say this guy is stealing from me, and suddenly you're a PvP going on in your campaign.
Right.
If you want that, if you want to encourage that and say this will be fun, then make sure everybody's aware of that. But to just allow it to happen, you run into issues around that. It can cause some very hurt feelings, very like difficulty with your players. So yeah, just keep that in mind, both DMs and rogue players. What's gonna like if you've been in a game where somebody did that, how did you feel about it? Was it cool? Was it not cool? Probably not.
So I was in a game where I did that. I was the
Yeah.
rogue that went in and did the thing. But I had explained to the DM that is actually how my character introduces himself. Was he
Okay.
pickpockets just to see what's in your pocket. He's not necessarily looking to steal anything, but
Sure.
he's just looking to see what's in there. And well, I got caught. And the party was like, "All right, so like here are the rules. You're not allowed to do that ever again
Sure.
to your party members." Um
Sure.
and then like from that point on, he never did. But he
Yeah.
always did it when he went through town and would
Hmm.
always come back and people are like, "Well, you have the most randomest things. What are you doing?" Well,
Yep.
I saw the shiny and I took it because
Yeah.
it was a fork and it was shiny and it was made of silver and I wanted it.
Yep. And for that, I highly recommend DM. There are you can go online right now and find random pickpocket tables.
Mhm.
If you want to have people find random things either in a room or in someone's pocket or there was that, just like when you have a rogue with sticky fingers, they're gonna steal everything not nailed down. So be aware of that.
Mhm.
Like when the rogue says, "Hey, what's in the room?" They're looking to steal something.
They
And
are.
so, I mean, you can say, "Yeah, keep that in mind." But again, can cause trouble. So there may be a situation where they're pocketing that silverware, and the person that the bartender sees them do it, and suddenly a bouncer is there, turning the rogue upside down and shaking them by the feet. Um,
Which would be hilarious, by the way. Just saying.
yes,
As long
yeah,
as both the
again,
player and the DM understand that that's the thing that's about to happen, nah, I would be
yep,
all for it. I get caught,
exactly,
you got me by the ankle? Yeah, yeah. I was
yep,
dumb enough to roll a 1 on the dexterity roll. Yep, go for
yep,
it.
yep. So yeah, uh, I again, there's a lot of communication that goes in. I think almost more than any other party member in terms of like knowing what is okay and what's not okay, what's what's going to cause like so, again you don't want to cause trouble, but there can be some fun moments, obviously. But then again, too, as the rogue player, if it's like, what can I steal? What can I steal? What can I steal? What can I steal? It's like, just dial it back a bit, buddy. It's
You don't need
like
to steal
you're
everything in every room.
you're 12th level. That silver fork doesn't mean anything to you. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna pickpocket this guy over here. He's got 4 coppers on him. Oh boy, have fun with that.
I have found a way to help the players and the rogue in some of those situations.
Hmm.
So the rogue likes to go through and steal things, right? I mean, most of them.
Hmm.
They're going through town.
Yeah.
Uh, Component parts, most DMs don't keep track of anymore.
Hmm.
So if you got a rogue in the group, that's how they're getting their components, unless they have a
Sure.
spell focus, right? So a lot of
Sure.
people
Sure.
don't
Yeah.
understand you can choose a spell focus and not have the components. So
Right.
the rogue can go through during the night, during the day, and you give them a list of spell components. Like, hey, your players need these spell components. Here they are.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
that's what you found while you were running around. It's an easy
Yep.
way for the rogue to still feel like he's doing something. It's
Hmm.
an easy way for the players to keep track of their spell components if they need to. And at the same time, throw in something flashy like this weird red ribbon that has gold letters written on it.
Yeah.
What is this? I don't know. Now the campaign, they spend half the campaign trying to figure out what that stupid ribbon is. And
It's some strange language. You find out it's like it's Knowlish for first place.
right, you spend half the campaign trying to figure out what it is, and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
you stole
Yeah.
some poor gnome's little first
Prize
place
ribbon.
ribbon.
Yeah. Like, what the? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, nice
Um,
little thing.
yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. The thing to keep in mind is it appeasing your rogue with some fun loot on occasion. Give them a chance to do it occasionally. But if it's happening too much, don't be afraid to dial it back a bit and just saying, yeah, you you go on a spree, give me a roll. You got 8 silver and 12 copper. There you go. And so if they want to keep track of that, fine. More power to them.
Hmm.
They feel like they've accomplished something. They've gotten something there. And then if you want to use a random table of like, hey, and you found these strange multicolored rocks.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
then you have some strange color. Like, what do they do? They're just pretty. Like, okay, are they worth anything? Not really. It's just somebody had a pocket full of rocks. Um,
Also, keep in mind, rogue players. I'm one of them. If you are carousing and your DM says you've been arrested, there is no roll to save against it. You did a thing, you got caught, you were carousing. That's just how that
mhm,
works.
sure.
Be okay with it. I mean, the DM's
Yeah.
being okay with rolling the carouse in the first place, so play into it. You got arrested, they don't know what happened to you. Now they get to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the beginning of the episode. If you're that guy, if they have to think about whether they need to come get you, that would be the way that we figure it out.
Yep.
Don't be
Yeah.
that guy.
If if their immediate response is let's go save them, or you know what, they can cool off. Let's go deal with this other thing here. And suddenly, like these guys are having an adventure here. Cut to the rogue, twiddling his thumbs in there, looking to like, okay, we're
Hmm.
trying to figure a way to like fashion this little like scrap of metal into a lock pick and everything else. And
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, well, I hope that helps with some ideas about rogues. Some of the famous rogues that are out there, or ways to use them, or ways to play them. Um, again, have fun. Rogues have such, again, so much flavor that there's a rogue for every situation, a rogue for every style, um, a rogue for every aesthetic you want to have.
Mhm.
Have fun with it. You don't have to be one thing. You can be so many things here. I mean, you want to be an absolute skill monkey, be the bard rogue. Like, good lord, expertise twice. Um, so much. Um, so yeah, have fun with that. And one thing I'm going to put out there is that DMs, I don't know if 2024 has addressed this or not here, but I am a big proponent of it here, house rule wise. Lock picking, like, is sleight of hand.
I believe that is what it is.
I think in 21 they did originally because the idea of the tool proficiency for thieves tools was a pain in the butt to keep track of, and it was like, okay, well, I mean, yeah. So the idea
So they still
of
have the
look,
thieves tools for 2024, but
sure, there's still a thing you need to have.
it's based off of
Yeah,
your sleight of hand ability. So if you
sure,
if at least in the TTRPG or the VTT that we play in,
yeah,
if you click the thieves tool button, it's going to ask what modifier you use, and it's dexterity, which is what your sleight of hand is based off of.
sure, yeah,
So look at your
but
VTTs, guys. Figure out what it tells you
yeah,
to do.
yeah. So, but yeah, feel free. Obviously, however you need to deal with it there. There's been so many things that rogues and thieves over the years have done all different kinds of ways to deal with that lock picking, trap finding, trap disarming. Uh, like I'll never forget the days of having to roll a perception check to spot the trap, then a disarms trap skill to disarm the trap, then a lockpicking skill to lockpick the trap. So every single door we came to required at least 3 rolls. That's boring for the rest of your players. Like and even then, I'm like, I tend to go with what's your passive perception. Like a lot of traps will be spotted by your passive if it's high enough. If you don't have a very good passive perception or have passive investigation, you might not spot those difficult traps, but at the same time, um, just yeah, find ways of shortcutting that so the rest of your players aren't sitting around twiddling their thumbs while the thief's going, okay, well I do this, now I do that, now I do this roll, this roll, this roll. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
okay, next door, like dungeon crawling with a thief is a pain in the butt,
Hey,
especially.
I play the thief.
I mean, they are really helpful.
They
But
are.
what I'm saying is that if I'm the fighter waiting to kill things and I'm sitting there waiting for the person to roll 3 dice, three tests for every single door we come across in the dungeon, it's getting boring.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
I
for
agree.
me, not my party member, for me.
Yep. Hmm.
So ways of speeding that up, ways of shortcutting that there, definitely be good with those that kind of thing there. The idea of having a general perception check count for multiple doors, like you don't have to roll for every single door you come across. Um, Especially if it's the same style of door, same style of trap, same style of lock. You don't need to make a test for each one of them.
That's fun. Yeah, I agree. Making more than one roll. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
two. Two is nice.
yeah.
Especially if
Well,
they
and
think that it is trapped because, you can see that it is clearly trapped. I agree.
right,
You would
yeah,
need to roll at least a perception or investigation
yeah,
and
yeah,
and to see how it works and then use your thieves tools to pick it.
sure.
Hmm.
So yeah, not too bad. But yeah, again, if it's every single door,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, or every 10 feet in the hallway to see if there's a trap in the hallway. Oh, there's a loose board there. Oh, there's a wire across to here. Oh, there's a hole in the wall over here. Gonna shoot out darts.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people
Yeah,
like that
not
though. Some people like going through dungeons super slow. Just pick up Dungeon Dweller, you'll be fine.
yeah. Alrighty, well, we're gonna call it there here. Next we have Rogue. Then we have Sorcerer next.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer's Sorcerer's up next.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
I have a little experience with that one. So,
I have zero, zilch. I mean, I've had players, but I have not
yeah.
not played with it. Nope.
Let's say the highest level character I ever played was my sorcerer.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll be next time here, getting into those natural spellcasters, those prodigies of magic, of the arcane. We're looking at our sorcerers next time. So uh, I'm right there with you, Roy. I love sorcerers. They're so much fun. Um, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching now and the future. If you want to throw some comments on our video here to kind of throw in your take on rogues, or some suggestions in the future, we are coming up on, we only what, three classes left. We've got
Warlock, wizard.
sorcerer, warlock, wizard, and that's it. So only three of these left here. So if you have some ideas or questions or topics you want to see explored in the future, throw them our way. We'll definitely take some suggestions for things to do if you want to rehash some old stuff, and or join in some new territory. Love to get your suggestions. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Stop by the tavern anytime. Drinks are on us. We'll see you again soon. Have fun, folks.
Hi guys.